That IBC tries to mess with the election.
Okay.
There will be no country here. 207 will look like a Christmas party. I can tell you. And I want to implore those commissioners to be Kenyans, to be patriotic, and not to attempt to force William Ruto on the people of Kenya. It will not work. The people of Kenya will not accept it. People want change, and they are ready for change. Indeed, they are impatient. The 2 years is too far away. You know? Okay. Let me tell you, this Gen Z group is lethal. This group is not tribal, cannot be compromised, cannot be bribed with 200 shillings. And I have now confirmed, when I've been walking around, that they have actually taken IDs and they are going to register as voters.
Hata wale wanatupigia kelele saa hizi wanajua ni wao ndio walitangaza vizuri, waliona hakukuwa na kitu kwa store. Kutoka hapo rais ameng'ang'ana. Unajua tumesahau tayari bei ya chakula ilikuwa juu. Tumesahau tulikuwa na fertilizer 7,000. Tumeleta 2,500. Food supply imejaa kwa country. Tumesahau hakukuwa na mafuta nje. Ulikuwa unakimbia na jerrycan ndio upate mafuta ya kuweka kwa gari yako. Saizi we have a consistent supply of fuel in a program that is being copied by other countries all over the world. Rais amestabilize our country. Ameweka huko Kerio Valley where I come from home. It was unbearable. But the work Rais na serikali yake for the last 2 years imefanya, we have only spots now in a few corners that have a challenge. We have made great progress. Lakini enemies of progress and tribalists are trying to shift the goalposts. They don't want us to discuss development because I want a development record. They don't want us to discuss about projects ya serikali because there is nothing they did for the 2 years. What are they doing? They want us to discuss about elections 2027. What are they doing? They want us to talk about stealing of elections. Sasa, wewe mwenyewe sio candidate na umeanza kulia. You are not even a candidate for that position in the first place. So ungoje wanaume wenye watashindana 2027 waongee wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Wewe umeshaanza kulia, you are not running, you are not a candidate, you are complaining about elections that is not yet there. It is not fair for our country that we have people who are very short memory. Na mimi nataka niwaambie viongozi, kama umewahi kukaa kwa ofisi na wewe unataka kuongoza taifa, contain yourself, contain your temperament, collect yourself, jitafute na urelax. Muliona Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto alikuwa na shida for 5 years. There was no time that he had this type of verbal diarrhea. He was a statesman. You can't come to public and then, unaongea tu unataka kusema anything and everything. Kesho unasema hakukuwa kwa kitu kwa store, leo iko kwa store. Sijui nini ilikuwa nini, leo haikukuwa. Sijui ati empowerment programs ilikuwa tunafanya ni kupatia watu wetu pesa. Saizi unasema, jameni, let's have the level of consistency. No wonder some people are unqualified to hold any office. Na mimi nataka kusema hapa, there is no leader who is above the law. There is no leader who is above the law. And every leader, if you have your political problem, don't turn your personal political problem to be a national crisis. You are an individual, and we will deal with you and deal with you decisively. Because the safety of this country is not something we are going to play around with. Unajua, mara nyingi kwa nini impunity inaendelea kwa nchi? Ni kwa sababu we overlook the things some people do. Kuna watu siku ngine juzi, wakati tunataka kupanga mambo ya kulete order in the country, wanaenda shamba ya former president wanaipa mbuzi na kondoo. Wakati last year young people wana protest kwa mambo ya finance bill because they have a right to do so, wanaenda pale, wanaenda kulete goons, wanataka kuchoma bunge na kusema ati Ruto must go. Sasa wameona hiyo haikufanya kazi, ndio sasa wamerudi, saa hizi wameanza kusema kutakuwa na vita 2027 because he was not punished for stealing mbuzi, he was not punished for wanting to ban parliament, now he wants to ban the entire country in 2027. I want to say this, we will be very decisive in dealing with all these inciters and planners of violence. We will not give them a chance. And I want to tell all these politicians, we will track you everywhere you go, see what you are doing, come for the meetings you are holding. We will not allow you to have a free space to operate on matters of violence. Muko kwa rada ya serikali usiku na mchana. You gotta just know that. And I want to warn people's children, including recently elected leaders, who are following merchants of violence and chaos, and who are planning violence for our country, that you better run away. Because when we come for the planners, we will also come for you for supporting violence. You better choose peace, because this country must live in peace. Wacha niseme hivi, hatutakubali tuseme kwamba sisi ndio tutakuwa kwa ofisi kwa wakati huu, ati na mtu tumpatie nafasi au konganishe wa Kenya na alete vita ati kwa sababu yeye amepoteza kiti. We will not allow that. That is not going to happen. And I want to tell you guys, you know, we will not. Let me just say that we will not allow. Najua juzi alikuwa anatuambia nikitolewa kwa ofisi inji itachomeka. Ilichomeka? Yeah, so aliona hajachomeka akaenda kuambia watu mkae kwa amani. Kwani walikuwa wanafanya nini? Walikuwa wanakaa kwa amani. So even these threats you are giving us now, we will put you in jail and there is nothing you can do. You will just rot in jail. There is no room for us to accept that this country can be led by people who want to bring down our nation. It won't happen. And I want to request all the other opposition leaders. Kalonzo Musyoka has been running for seat for many years. Raila has been running for president for many years. All these other elected, respectable elected leaders, even Mother Karua has tried for many years. Nobody has threatened to ban the country. Somebody umefanya MP one term na quarter term kwa ofisi ingine, unakuja kutupatia threats. How? You know? How? We have more seasoned opposition leaders. We know your record. You have no legitimacy to threaten any of us. In fact, you have never tested. Your name has never been in a ballot box. So you don't even know whether you will get votes ya MCA ama utapata ya kiti gani. So respect the country, and we are going to be very decisive. I respect the opposition leaders, including former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, because they are questioning us, they are questioning our records, they are saying everything they are saying, but they understand, because unajua tofauti ya former Vice President Kalonzo na huyu mwingine ni huyu aliharakishwa mbio. Mtu ametoka tu hapa, hajamaliza mbunge one term, ameingizwa ofisi kubwa, hajakaa kwa hiyo ofisi, ameanza kupanga kuu. Ndio huyu ameanguka. Maisha ya kama ile ya Simon Makonde. Lakini wale wazee wengine wenye walitoka chini kina Kalonzo kuwa assistant minister, wakakuwa nini, wakakuwa ministers kwa serikali, wanaelewa what it means to keep a country together. Because hiyo ni watu wamezunguka, wameona what's happening in the world. Lakini hii mbio ya kukimbizwa kama moto ya masakari ndio inaleta hasara katika taifa. And we will put it to a stop, and tutaweka break yenye itakwama na itakwama permanently. That is all I want to say. And I have said, nilikuwa Kitale, nimeambia watu ya Rift Valley, siletewe hii fitina ya watu kidogo kidogo. Hapa kabila zote ziko, rangi yote, dini yote, kila mtu aombe kura yake na aombe kwa chama yoyote yenye anataka. We will guarantee you that you can support government or criticize government. That is your right. But we want everybody in this country to live in peace. Sitaki kusema kupita hapo. Nataka tukuongezea kusema nitarudi hapa kwa jukwaa la usalama. Tumefanya 14 counties. It has been a very successful conversation on matters of security and service delivery. In another 1 month or so, nitakuja hapa Nandi, tutaketi na viongozi wetu wote, tutakubaliana vitu yenye nataka tumalize. Kuna shida kidogo tulikuwa nayo hapa Nandi ya pombe kidogo here, lakini I want to thank the county commission and her team. They are doing a very good job to make sure that we sort this issue. Ninawaomba tupatie support our leaders ambao wa grassroots, especially chief na assistant chief. We want to sort all these problems ya pombe kutoka mashinani kutoka sub location, na mtusaidie tushikane pamoja, tupeleke nchi yetu mbele. Ninawapenda watu wa Nandi, nitarudi tena tukuje tuongee pamoja.
The state on several occasions had failed. Police and other state security agencies had to come in. At about 11 a.m., same Sunday, 18th May 2025, this information was communicated to the Inspector General of Police, the Director General of the National Intelligence Service, and the Director of Criminal Investigations by the CS Interior Kipchumba Murkomen, and consequently, a killer squad composed of 101 lethal and dreaded officers from the administration police and seconded to the National Intelligence Service, accompanied by officers from the DCI, the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit, the General Service Unit, and the regular police were deployed. This killer squad have been carrying out extrajudicial killings and abductions. Yesterday, they were mobilized and cordoned off and blocked all exits from Gatanga constituency. This squad was armed to the teeth and hooded and with masks to conceal their identity because of the heinous acts they wanted to commit on us. This is despite that there are existing guidelines from the High Court that officers should be in uniform and not conceal their identity. At about 2:30 p.m., we received further intelligence from the deployed patriotic officers who are not in agreement with the information that they had clear instructions to plant arms and weapons in our convoy to provide evidence to arrest us and get evidence that they could charge us with in court. After about 30 minutes, the killer squad was joined by their counterparts who are highly trained in the use of biological weapons. Their instructions were to poison me through inhaled chemicals that would paralyze my brain within 3 months. This was the intent and the purpose of the whole operation. My team and I sought alternative routes as guided by the deployed security personnel, majority of whom are our supporters and opposed to what is going on. We have credible information that President Ruto has directed that my private security personnel be disarmed and be targeted for withdrawal of their licenses so that they can leave me vulnerable to allow room for goons to attack and possibly eliminate me. President William Ruto has expressed ungovernable anger that the state-sponsored goons are being overpowered by my private security personnel who are licensed gun holders. President Ruto is furious that the people of Kenya have not forgotten about the Kiambaa church massacre, where children and women were tortured in the 2007 and /8 post-election violence, and is unhappy that I keep on reminding the people of Kenya of the heinous act. I want to say that although Kenyans forgive each other, they cannot forget this, and there is nothing the president can do about it. The president was also utterly livid that I exposed his grabbing of 5-acre piece of land inside Gong Forest, where he intends to put a private hotel. About my statement on post-election violence, this was a precautionary statement and not incitement. It is based on historical facts and past electoral experiences of 1992, 1997 and 2007 controversial elections, that we must have a free and fair election in 2027. It is my civic duty as a leader to remind IEBC, all agencies and institutions charged with election management, that they must deliver free, fair, verifiable and credible election. I have heard the CS Interior and other pretenders to the throne claim that they will not allow political violence. I urge them to walk the talk. Since November 2024, political violence of great magnitude has been meted on me, my family, and my supporters. Not a single case has been prosecuted. For instance, on 28th November 2024, at a solemn funeral service in Limuru, Kiambu County, I was attacked by organized criminal gangs and a police escort. On 28th December 2024 in Shamata, Nyandarua, an inspector of police flanked by criminal gangs threw tear gas canisters at me. On 23rd March 2025 at ACK St. Peter's Cathedral in Nyeri, my convoy was attacked at a church compound by a non-criminal gang under police escort. On 29th March 2025 in Naivasha town, we were attacked by the police. On 6th April 2025 at a church service in Mwik, PCA, hooded goons attacked us inside the church. We dismiss with contempt the loose talk by CS Interior that during the DCP party unveiling, where goons dared to cause chaos were fighting for handouts from us. These were state-sponsored, but fortunately, they were overpowered by security personnel and supporters. The CS has given instructions that instead of arresting the said goons, they disarm my security personnel to give goons free access to me and my supporters in future occasions. Let it be known that our party, DCP, has organic support, and we do not pay supporters to attend our meetings the way the government is doing to people to attend their meetings. Finally, let me assure the planners of this violence that you will not stop the cause of the people of Kenya. The one-term movement and the DCP party popularity will not be stopped and will not be slowed down. The cause to liberate Kenya is not about Rigathi Gachagua. All the leaders with me. Wasting time and resources to stop me is a zero-sum game. The people of the Republic of Kenya have said that lies must stop, roads must be built, corruption must stop, abductions and extrajudicial killings must stop, education and health systems must work. They are some of the things that are making the people of Kenya restless. We are putting our supporters on high alert that they have the right to express their frustrations if injustice is meted on us. My supporters and I will not be cowed or intimidated by the use of the criminal justice system to manage politics. The drama of waylaying us on roads should be stopped. If the government knows that I have committed a crime known under the laws of Kenya and identified in the penal code, they know all my homes. And I'm here. They know my Wamanyoro home. They don't need to waylay me on the road. Let them just come here, and if we have committed a crime, they can come and arrest me and take whatever action that they want to take. That is the end of the statement. Iko swali? Yes. Yes. I have not been summoned by anybody, and I'm waiting if there is any summon. What happened is that they wanted to plant weapons in my convoy, and they wanted to use chemicals so that they can paralyze our brain the way they did to Kenneth Matiba. And that is why we had to take an escape, an alternative route to get here. I would have wished they came here instead of wailing us on the road and using those dreaded criminals who are responsible for abductions and extrajudicial killings. And that squad works under the Director General of the National Intelligence Service. It's 101 officers who are recruited from the administration police, and they have been given special training by the National Intelligence Service, and they are responsible for the abductions and extrajudicial killings. And that is the squad that had been planned yesterday and mobilized so that they can incapacitate me and my people. Yes. Report to who? These are the same people who want to kill me. How do you report to the people who are planning to poison your mind so that the brain can be paralyzed and then you become a vegetable? I cannot report. And I wrote to the Inspector General of Police and the Director of Criminal Investigations. Instead of answering the issues I addressed, told me to report to the next police station. Yet all these things have happened under the cover of the police. So it is useless to go and report to the police. That is why I'm talking to the people of Kenya, so that if anything happens to me, President William Ruto must be held accountable. And I want to say, when they hounded me out of office, I pleaded with my supporters to stay calm and express their displeasure by singing. That is no longer going to be the case. And my supporters have blamed me for not allowing them to stand up to intimidation and the wrong things that are being done against their leaders. Therefore, our supporters are on high alert, and they will be part of the leadership and ourselves who will be resisting impunity and intimidation by William Ruto and the government.
Should the elections be rigged in 2027, then it's going to be worse than how it was.
I didn't say I was misquoted. I said the interpretation is wrong. People are not interpreting what I said correctly. Mine is a cautionary statement. And history is very important. During the finance bill of 2024, I did caution President William Ruto and the cabinet that it will bring problems because I listened to the people of Kenya. When a member of parliament from Rift Valley says that even if the votes are not enough, they will know how to manufacture them. When another leader from Rift Valley say they can rule for 24 years. These are the things that have put the people of Kenya on notice, and people are speaking. And as a responsible leader, I must caution IBC that the people of Kenya are saying, please don't try. And we are saying we must draw parallels from history. And all I was saying is that that has happened before in 2007, and it is possible it can happen now. And I was asking IBC to be patriotic enough to make sure they don't put the country into a crisis. That is all I did. I did not ask anybody to cause violence. I did not say people will fight each other. I just said, let's be careful. This has happened before, and it was bad. And from the way people are speaking, it could be worse. That is all I said. Yes, Waweru. No, I am a licensed firearm holder. I've been licensed as a firearm holder from 1995. Officers who helped me are licensed firearm holders within the provisions of the law. We don't carry any illegal weapons. In this country, civilians are allowed to have firearms. And since the government withdrew security around me, that's what I said. Mimi sijasema Kenya itakuwa na fujo. Mimi nimesema, nikisikiza wa Kenya vile wanasema wewe William Ruto usijaribu kuiba uchaguzi, na nimeuliza IBC, please be patriotic, msiweke hii nchi kwa shida, because history has shown when there is a contested election there can be violence, and it has happened, and we must refer to history. That's why I said we saw what happened in 2007. So please, IBC, make sure you don't create a situation where we can have a recurrence of what happened in 2007. Because if it happens this time the way people are talking, it can be worse. Na mimi, it is my civic duty as a leader to caution the country. Siku tumeleta finance bill 2024, mimi nienda kwa rais nikamwambia, hii finance bill usisukume. Wakenya wataki, watakataa na wataleta shida. Akasukuma, nikaenda kwa cabinet. Na iko kwa minute. Kwa cabinet yote watu 22 na rais, mimi ndio nilipinga. Na nikasema iweke kwa minute. Nikasema hii kitu italeta fujo Kenya. Hii watoto wanaitwa Gen Z hawatakubali. Na ilifanyika. There was violence, there was unrest, there were chaos. I had cautioned the president and the cabinet. So what we are saying is, we have a civic duty as leaders. If we see a situation that can cause unrest in the country, we must say so. That does not mean that we are advocating for anybody to fight anybody. We are saying we have seen it before. It can happen again. What they are unhappy about, na ndio wanashida wakinipigia kelele, hawataki tukubusha watu mambo ya Kiambaa ile kanisani. Tulikusamehea lakini hatuwezi hau. Ulichoma watoto wetu ndani ya kanisa. We'll keep on reminding you. I know that is why you are unhappy. Na tulikuwa karibu tusahau. until ulituma watu pale Kasarani, pale Mweki PCA Church, ndani ya kanisa, vijana wakuje kutuua sisi ndani ya kanisa. Tukalinganisha hiyo na ile ya Kiambaa. So rais na watu yako, kama unataka tuachane kuzungumza mambo ya Kiambaa, wacha kutuma wahuni makanisani na kwa mazishi kulete fujo. We forgave, but we did not forget. So the things you are doing now make us remember more vividly what you did in Kiambaa Church. Na tunakuambia, tunajua. Nimeona huyu Mr. Esa na huyu waziri wa usalama wakiandika, hatutakubali violence in Kenya. How can you say, Mr. Esa, you cannot accept violence in Kenya? The government, as we speak today, is perpetrating violence. Pale 31st of December, Nyeri, Kabiroine showground, yule kiongozi wa ile kundi ambaye ilihangaisha watu hapa Murang'a, si mnamjua? Alisimama hadharani akasema, mimi nafanya kazi na deputy president na ndiye amenisimamia na hii kikundi changu, na tuko na polisi hapa na tutaendelea na kazi yetu bila kusumbuliwa. So wewe Mr. Esa, you are working with the leader of a criminal gang. Na huyo jamaa tangu siku hiyo ndio amekuwa akitatiza mikutano yetu. Ndio alituma watu Limuru kupitia orders yako, akitaka kuua sisi pale Limuru mwezi ya 11. Wa leo hiyo watu hawajashikwa kwa sababu ni watu yako. Pale Mwiki, rais mwenyewe ndiye alipiga simu, toa polisi ndio hii watu wavamiwe. Mpaka wa leo uchunguzi umefanywa, rais amesema hiyo watu wasipelekwe kotini kwa sababu ni watu wake. So Mr. Esa, wewe, I want to remind you that when the Gen Zs were killed, you are the Minister for Interior. You supervised, you directed and executed the killing of young people. You have Gen Z blood in your hands. So when you say that there cannot be violence in this country, you are speaking from both ends of your mouth. Because wewe mwenyewe ndio ulifanya hiyo. Na hiyo huwezi toroka. You can never run away from killing of the Gen Zs under your watch. Na instead of being punished, you are promoted. So mimi niseme, tunataka serikali, huyu waziri Murkomen, can you order wale watu walitupiga Limuru wakamatwe wapelekwe kotini? Can you give instructions wale watu walituumiza Mweki ndani ya kanisa kotini? Can you say huyu leader of the criminal gang alivamia Reverend Dorcas pale Kamukoji ground na wahuni wake wakamfukuza na kuketi kiti ya mhubiri, hawajashikwa? And then you are here telling us that the government cannot allow political violence. Yet today there is political violence sponsored by government. Na hii watu yote hakuna mtu anashikwa kwa sababu ni watu wenu. So sisi, we are peaceful people. Rigathi Gachagua is the most peaceful leader in this country. When mulinitoa kwa kiti nilipewa na raia, watu wangu, millions of supporters walitaka toka barabara walete fujo. Nikawaongelesha, nikawaambia msitoe fujo, mkikasirika mtu afanye nini? Si ndio tulifanya? If I was an irresponsible leader, ningewachilia supporters yangu watoke. Can you imagine kama ni Raila Odinga alitolewa kwa kiti, ingekuwa namna gani? Kama ni Ruto angetolewa kwa kiti, ingekuwa namna gani? But I am a responsible leader myself. I am a very peaceful man. I am a Christian. And I told my supporters, bitter as you are, please, violence begets violence. We cannot go into violence. Please go home and sing. And they started singing, and they are still